Jesus said to his disciples, "Whoever wants to follow me must deny themselves, take up a cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it." And so the question is, by that definition, are you a follower of Jesus? It's an easy question to overlook, but it's the most important question you'll ever answer. It seems like a good place to begin our journey together by just contemplating this very basic question: are you a follower of Jesus? I know you've been asked that question before, at least most likely at some point you've been confronted with it, but maybe it's because the question is so familiar, there's this tendency to dismiss it. Maybe you dismiss it because it makes you a little uncomfortable. Maybe you dismiss it because it's not especially convicting, or maybe it's dismissed because it's redundant, it's unnecessary. You think to yourself, hey, asked and answered. I've already thought this through. But you recognize, hopefully at least, that it's an important question to consider. Are you a follower of Jesus? I mean, maybe the fact that you're watching this means that it just seems like a rhetorical answer. It's like walking into a Boston pub and asking, who cheers for the Red Sox, right? I mean, it's an important question, but it's pretty obvious what the answer is going to be. And so you don't think that much of it. But before you move on from this question, before you dismiss it, can we just clarify exactly what it is we're asking when we ask the question, are you a follower of Jesus? Because I'm not asking you if you go to church. I'm not asking you if your parents or grandparents are Christians. I'm not asking you if you raised your hand at the end of a sermon or you repeated a prayer after a preacher. I'm not asking you if you spent your summers at VBS and church camp. I'm not asking you if you've ever bought witness wear, the Christian t-shirts. I'm not asking you if you pray impressive prayers where you say things like traveling mercies and God bless the gift and the giver. And I'm not asking you if you are proficient in sword drills. Many of us, though, when we hear the question, we tend to go towards those types of criteria. We think, yeah, I'm a follower of Jesus because of these things over here. But I'm not sure we really understand the question if that's how we answer it. Because one of the most sobering passages of Scripture tells us of a day when Jesus will say to many who consider themselves to be followers of Jesus, I never knew you. He doesn't recognize them. And they're quick to point out all the great things they've done for Jesus. Jesus says on that day when many stand before him, they will identify themselves as followers of Jesus because they prophesied in his name, because they worked miracles in his name. But Jesus said, I didn't know you. And so it starts to become pretty clear then that following Jesus isn't based upon all these things that we've done or all these things that we've accomplished. It's based upon knowing him. It's based upon a relationship. And so what I'd like you to do is take a few minutes just to read Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 through 23. And as you read that passage of Scripture, I want to ask you to set aside some of your assumptions about what it means to be a Christian, what it means to follow Jesus, and to ask that question in a new way. Am I a follower of Jesus? Do I really know him? And what I hope these next days will do is challenge you if you need to be challenged. I hope this journey will affirm you and encourage you if you need to be affirmed and encouraged. But more than anything else, I hope that as we discover what it truly means to follow Jesus, that we will accept the invitation by God's grace to know him and to be known by him. And so I want to give you just a little application to think through today. After you've read that passage of Scripture in Matthew 7, then I want you just to recall the first time that you made a decision to follow Jesus. Maybe you weren't even sure what it meant at the time, but you thought, okay, I want to be in, I want to be a part of this. What prompted you to respond? What changed about you in those first weeks and months? And just write down your answers to those questions as you think about what it means to be a follower of Jesus. And then reflect on, do you know him as you are known by him?